So, hi there. Right, today's video is on counselling, and how counselling helped in ways that I didn't think it would. So here we go. So, I've undertaken counselling on numerous occasions, but for many years I couldn't engage in it. I thought it wasn't for me. I couldn't talk to anybody, not realising really that it wasn't doing me much good. In fact, it's probably doing me more harm than good, to be fair. Um, it's always been a case of, men should show their feelings, and it was wrong, and it wasn't manly to do it, and all that, which is wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against being manly and masculine. No way. I'll say it in every video. But there are certain things that have changed about the ideals of being a man. Some for the better, some maybe not so much. But one of the things that I do believe has changed for the better is the fact that to man up and be a man no longer means to sweep it under the carpet and just keep calm and carry on, stiff upper lip and all that nonsense. I do truly believe that you should deal with it, head on, face it, get it sorted. So last year I undertook it's probably about my sixth set of sessions of counselling. My first for about 10 years. A lot of my counselling sessions were as a child and I couldn't engage with it, but then that was down to influences in my childhood, which I'll touch on another video. With this latest set of counselling sessions, the tone was different because from the start of it I was ready to engage, and I think really that's the key thing, is you've got to be ready to engage with it before it will do any good. So I went along and was happy to engage and make a start on things, and we started delving into my childhood, and then right the way through my adult life, to where I am today, touching on traumatic situations that had happened throughout my life, and how my life had been basically moving from one storm to another. I won't use the words because you never know, there might be people under 18 listening, although they probably heard it all before. When you live your life one storm to another, you don't realise the knock-on effect it has. And going through counselling, it enabled me to open up in a way that I'd never felt comfortable before. And we looked at the way different situations had affected me. Each of these situations I'll touch on in other videos. But the outcome was a strange one. At first it hurt. It did hurt. I'm not gonna beat about the bush. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was tough. Raking over old wounds that I thought were put behind me and healed. But in reopening those wounds as such, it kind of helped me put to bed properly what happened and truly start putting things behind me. Up until then, it was like just papering over the cracks. The cracks will reappear. You don't know when, you don't know how long the sticky tape will last. But it will reappear. And if you don't put things to bed properly, then it kind of defeats the object, really. And it keeps recurring and affecting you in so many ways. So once you open them wounds and started to rebuild, you start looking at why your life has led you to where you are, today. And you try and combat some of the reasons. It could be that you had stuff instilled into you that was completely and utterly wrong. And you need to rethink about these things. It could be that you just need to get it off your chest and talk to somebody. And once you've done that, that's half your battle, because you're not bottled it up inside of you. I mean, that's a key thing. With men, we bottle things up all the time. We don't let on. Well, that's the wrong thing to do, because you can only bottle so much before the cork pops. It's probably a saying you've heard so many times. You shake a bottle of a fizzy pop. Well, there's only so much it can take before it'll explode. And this is the same principle. But by talking to someone, you're sharing your burden. You're not piling burden onto them that they don't need. If it's a professional, well, that's the job they've chosen to do. They want you to unburden on them because they've learned how to help you. And really, it is that simple. Now, you might find it's easier to talk to someone you know. You might find it's easier to talk to a colleague at work or a friend in the pub. Sit down and have a pint. They say that alcohol, makes things worse. It does. But however, if you're sat there and you're having a discussion with someone, you're only sipping at your pint. You're not necking them. You don't want to be necking drinks. That's the worst thing you can do. Sit at home. Don't drink, because you're gonna neck it. But if you sat in a pub with a friend and talking, then the conversation takes paramount, not the drink, if you get what I mean. So in that situation, going out for a pint actually is probably a good idea, providing you're talking. You might find it easier to talk to your partner, your wife, your husband. We are in 2021 now, doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. Your partner at home, whoever that might be, you might find you can talk to about things like that. You might find that talking to a complete stranger is too daunting a task. But then you also might find that talking to a stranger is actually a bit easier, because that person isn't there necessarily judging you. And even if they are, well, once you finish them sessions, what do they matter? They ain't going to be in your life anymore. You ain't going to be meeting them down the pub, are you? And the thing with counsellors and professionals is that they're bound by confidentiality. Unless you're in real, absolute mortal danger, they can't talk to anybody about what goes on in that room, because it's against the law. That's your confidentiality they're breaking. So it's worth a think. Well, I'm going to end it there. Okay, because I know I like to babble on a bit. I try and make these videos between 9 and 10 minutes long, no longer. So if you like what if you like what you're hearing in these videos, please hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and see you soon. Cheers, guys. Stay safe. It makes sense.